Hi, I'm Lawrence Woods, and after developing the curriculum for the quantum alignment classes and developing the devices for them, I found that we needed to have some technology for people at home to alleviate some of their issues that we find that they're suffering from in our clinical practice. And so some of these things, one of the things I developed was these EMF stickers. Now, some of you have seen things sold on the market to put on your cell phones to block or somehow modify the effects of EMF on the person. After testing quite a few of them, teaching classes around this country and other countries, I found that most of them actually didn't work, or maybe they perhaps worked at the beginning, but then they became jammed or clogged and no longer worked. So I wanted to develop something that would continue to work no matter what, and they would never lose their effectiveness as long as they were intact. And so I developed these particular barcode designs. So you can see there's a pattern here of certain bars around the perimeter of different number sets and certain links. So there's a whole science that I learned from Dr. Robert Gilbert of the Vesca Institute, and also Dr. Ibrahim Karim, from the teacher of biogeometry, how to create designs to have effects in the physical world. And so EMF, there's two types of EMF, two effects of EMF. There's the physical effects of EMF. So we know that cell phones are microwave transmitters and emitters, transmitters and receivers. And so the microwaves affect our nervous system and our immune systems. And that's why we see now reports coming back from different scientific commissions talking about the effects of EMF and how it's destroying our immune system, affecting our brains, and perhaps causing, there's certain studies showing the effect of these EMF fields on cancers and other things. So this is not new news. You know, there were a group of French medical researchers back in the day, back in the 1900s, who worked with this, with these kinds of things, and they determined that there's certain subtle energy emanations from the electromagnetic fields that create a negative effect on our nervous system and our immune systems. In fact, they inadvertently found out if you concentrated those subtle energy patterns too much, one of them, the most toxic one, called vertical negative green, if you concentrated it too much, you can actually die. And in fact, one of the researchers who developed a way to concentrate this vertical negative green force out of the EMF actually did die in his laboratory. He was exposed too much to it. This is not unlike the physical effects of like radiation. When Madame Curie was refining uranium, you know, she found out much too late that this concentrated uranium would actually kill her, and did kill her. But the vertical negative green is not a physical energy, so you can't pick it up with the EMF meter that you could buy at an electronics supply house. But the vertical negative green we can check in other ways, as taught by the Vesca Institute and also in biogeometry. So these particular patterns I found have a long-term permanent effect on how this type of non-physical energy affects us. So when in class, when we're teaching a QAT process, if we put a cell phone on somebody's chest or near their head or something, or even a smartwatch on their wrist, that a lot of muscles will suddenly weaken a lot, or at least quite a bit. And some people are much more sensitive to EMF than others. We find that some people, if you hold the cell phone even 10 or 15 feet away and turn it on, they will suddenly their whole system will become weaker. And we show this in our testing as taught in classes. So I developed a way to change that effect on our nervous system and our immune systems. And so that's designed in the barcodes of these stickers. Now there's two kinds of stickers I have. They're both about 1 inch square, but the smaller one is 4 little squares. Each of these 4 little squares, each one of the 4 has the same effect as a large sticker. But you can put these on smaller devices. You can cut them along the black lines there and install them on things. So let's show how we actually do this in practical ways. And so we have like a wireless earbuds. So on a wireless earbud, you can put one on each one on the outside, the little sticker, okay, just like that. You can put them on the hearing aids as well. If you have on the inside of the hearing aid, where it rests against my head, they'll last about a month, and you can replace it. And so the adhesive works pretty well with that. You wouldn't want to wear them swimming. Well, you don't wear hearing aids at all swimming, but some devices like smartwatches, you can swim in them, but it will gradually loosen the adhesive, the chlorinated water that you swim in. But you can put them on your iPad, let's say your cell phone. Now on your cell phone, generally speaking, you want to put them inside your case or on the back of the cell phone. They don't need to be on the outside. Some of these cell phone blockers, most of them don't work. They have them on the outside and they're relatively thick and expensive. They cost anywhere from $40 to a couple $100. And most of them I found did not work. But these are very, very cheap. And you just put them near where the power port is. Now on an iPhone, you put them more in the center where the Apple symbol is. And that seems to be more effective there. But they'll work anywhere on the cell phone. Okay, so it's just a little more effective if they're placed in a certain position. Same thing with on touch screens. Let's say on your iPad, I put this bigger sticker on the larger one on the near where the port goes in, the energy for the device, and I put one on the screen itself. So right here, a little one, and so these touch screens you can use it no matter where you put it on the screen. The touch screen will still work. So like you put one on the outside of your smartwatch, on the outside of the casing. You don't want to put them on the inside of the smartwatch because there's little light emitting diodes. They need to read your blood going through your skin and all that stuff. So you put it on the outside of the smartwatch, a small one, in your touch screen and everything. You can still see through it and all that. So it works that way. On your light switches and things like that, you can put them on the outside of your light switch. It doesn't matter if it's one side up or sideways or anything, it'll still work, okay? You can put them on the outside or you can put them on the inside. You can stick them on here. Just unscrew the plate from the wall. Don't put it on the the switch itself, but put it on the little panel, the plastic panel or wooden panel that you have. Now if you have a three-way switch like this, you can unscrew the panel and put them one on each side here. If you have a power box, your outside power box, or some houses have it on the inside of the house, you have two main switches usually on a power box. Put a sticker on the outside of each one next to the switch, but not on the switch, just next to it. And if you want to, you can also put individual stickers on each one of the breaker switches as well, off to the side, and that will affect the electricity going through your house. So you can have multiple layers of protection. Let's say you have a hairdryer. Hairdryers emit a lot of toxic vertical negative green energy into your head. You can place that on the switch where it plugs in, and that will affect the electricity going into the device. Or you can put it on the device, or both. You can have multiple layers of protection for that. Even on the wired headphones like this, you can put it on the side where the wire goes in. You only need it on that side. You don't need to put it on the other side. On the wired ones, the wireless ones, you want it on both sides. So this is, you can put it on your router where the power cord goes into the router. You want to put it close to that. On your television sets, you want to put them on where the cord goes into the television. Put a sticker there, and you can put one sticker on the outside of the screen in one of the corners, and that will work as well to transmute vertical negative green into something actually beneficial for your nervous system and immune system. So that's what we're using now to help modify the effects of this ocean that we're constantly bathing in EMF today in this world. And you can also, you can contact me at this website here, the QAT BYLW, or at gmail.com or neuroreset.net, not .com, but .net, and you can contact that way to order them. They come in packages of discounts. If you order like 20 of these stickers, they come at a discount. And for these, this is an individual sticker. The 4 patterns are on there, which can use on 4 things. You cut them. Now the trick for cutting these things, I'll show you, is you want to peel back the paper backing on it. This is kind of a wax paper, and then cut them. So you want to peel it away from the backing before you cut them. If you cut them with the backing on them, it's really hard to pry the 2 layers apart. It's really tricky. But otherwise, they're simple to use, and they're waterproof on the outside. So if you get a little water on them, that's not a problem. But they will last, and I've tested them in different places. I put them on routers for long periods of time, and they work continuously. They don't ever get clogged or stop working. I've put them in, installed them in a house on all their power switches and routers and all kinds of things that they have in their house, and they're still working a year later. So they will work and work and work for you at a very, very, very low price.